this season managed to be even more incredible. I love this show. It's amazing. That is literally all I can say about this show. It's amazing. Obviously, I have more to say because this is a review, but man, this show is amazing. My biggest critique, though, is I don't think they do the best with Barry's depression. I think they handled it pretty well in the first episode of the first season, where they were like, because um, I have depression, so I was able to relate to it, and I think they handled it well, unlike most media. Him sleeping all day, occasionally playing, like video games to pass the time, but not playing them for too long, feeling burnt out. Occasionally we can see it in season 2, but it's not always there. Episode 5 was absolutely hilarious. Episode 4 was gut wrenching. Episode 7 and 8 mixed together and just felt like one big episode. This show is really good. Of course, there was the very sad moment that personally hurt me a lot. Barry wants to get out of the life. He doesn't want to kill any people anymore, but Hank pulls him back in. He puts on a little disguise because he doesn't want to expose that Barry's a hitman, puts a little wig on and a weird shirt, goes to a store, talks to him in private, makes sure he's not around any other people, calls him an idiot and tells him to fuck off. Hank shows no mercy later and is like, don't fuck with me or I'll kill your friends. You're doing this for me. Eventually, they come to an understanding when he doesn't do it right, because he flashbacks to something Sally earlier said about how she hated her abusive boyfriend, and now she's with someone that's not violent. So it really messed with him. He didn't want to be violent. She didn't even realize what she was saying because she doesn't know the stuff he does. He goes to kill Esther, fails because he accidentally walks in a room with a bunch of other people. So Hank gets pissed and tries to get him killed, but his guy fucking sucks. So they become a compromise where he has, he's like, hey, I'll train your guys. I'll train all your guys. I'll help you out. And he helps the guys get better aim, better combat and shit. There's one guy in particular that we see do a lot of shooting. We see a lot of him. He basically idolizes Barry. Barry really helped this dude out. He was a bit of a dick to him because he was going through some shit, but it really pushed him to be better. And he appreciated that we get a sweet moment with him talking and saying he never would have been able to do it without Barry. Hughes takes the one man that Barry had a lot of trust in, Gene, blows it to shit because Barry doesn't want to work with him anymore and he's a bit of a dick to him. Which Hughes is an asshole. He deserves it. Hughes is like, oh, you really think that you're the only important one? You're the only one that can do shit? And he ruins it. He's about to kill Gene, but he decides not to and just fucks it over even more, which we find out in the very last few seconds of the final episode, so I'll talk about that later. But yeah, he frames Gene for the murder. He gets away with it because Barry puts a pin in the trunk to make it look like someone else did it. Eventually, Hank is like, hey, Hughes, he's here. Don't worry, he fixed the situation. And in pure blind rage, basically foreshadowing from shit earlier about how he doesn't like who he is when he's angry, he kills everybody in his path to get to Hughes. Hughes, being the slimy little bitch that he is like, hey, I'm Barry's mentor, protect me. Because he knows these dudes idolize Barry. I don't know why, but he knows they do. Actually, there is a reason. Hank said it in like one scene to him. So yeah, he knows these dudes idolize Barry and he takes advantage of that, even though he knows damn well it's Barry that's out there killing everybody to get to him. So, no. Slimy little shit. And the dude he was mentoring earlier that looks up to Barry is about to shoot at whoever comes in the door, and Barry's there. He lowers his gun and he smiles, and Barry just fucking kills him. That ruined me. It was like Gabe from Gotham when he betrayed Penguin. Personally, he was a bit of a... Well, this part isn't personally, but he was a bit of a side character. He didn't have as much screen time as even Butch or Fish Mooney. You know, smaller roles. Or Sal Maroney. You know, just one of the people that did have big roles, but he was even smaller than them. You know, he really hurt me. Poor dude looked up to Barry and he got shot in the fucking head. I really wish he would have survived. It really hurt me, man. I backed that scene up just to watch it again, because I don't know, it hurt. Just for Barry to later not even get to kill Hughes because his little slimy ass got away. And then he realizes what he's done. He looks down and realizes it's the kid he was mentoring. It's fucking sad, man. Of course, the show ends with Gene, because he was in a traumatic moment at the time when he found his wife's dead body, because Hughes found it earlier and led him there. And was planning to kill Gene, but decided not to. Right before he runs away like the little shit he is, he whispers, and Barry doesn't kill him there for some reason. I wish he would have. None of this shit would have happened if he would have killed him there. He just pulled out his gun and shot him. But he goes to find out if Gene's okay or whatever. I don't know. Andy whispers in his ear, Barry Berkman did this. He was the one that killed your wife, is basically what he tells him. But he's in a traumatic state at this point. He's in shock, so he's not fully hearing what he's saying. But at the very end of the show, he's at home, laying in bed. He's more relaxed because he's not sitting in a prison cell like he was earlier, being questioned and being told he killed his wife when he knows damn well he didn't. And his son goes out of the room to go get him some tea, and he realizes what he said to him. It's an amazing moment and an amazing show. This is quite possibly topped Gotham. Gotham was my favorite show of all time, of any media. But I honestly think Barry has become even better, in my opinion. Better than Gotham, which I never thought I would ever like a show more than Gotham, but I like this show more than Gotham. And I really want to start season 3, because, you know, I've watched like 2 seasons in one day, because I've been a little bit sick with a bad stomach ache. So I've had a lot of free time. But it's 1 a.m., so I'll have to watch season 3 tomorrow. But this show is amazing. I honestly think, if I didn't spoil too much already, maybe you clicked off or got interested enough from my review. But this is definitely a show you gotta experience for yourself. It's amazing. There are a few jokes that I think in this season that fell flat and were absolute unfunny. But more than often not, they were really good. And yeah, that's really about it. I hope season 3 is just as good as this season, because this season was even better than season 1. And oh, one more thing. Honestly, kind of like Sally in this season. She's growing on me. I really liked her in episode 7 where she gets really mad at Barry. It's unjustifiably so, but at the same time, you can really see where she's coming from. And yeah, that's about it.